Hey everyone, smartypantschess here. Sorry I've not been posting many videos recently. I've had a lot of editing to do in my day job, so I just didn't feel like posting many videos. It takes a lot of time, so it's quite tricky to balance. However, I played a game yesterday actually on lichess. It was called the Chess England Semi-Rapid Arena, and I actually went up against a GM called Bogdan Lalic. Yeah, this was quite an interesting game. I just want to have a look at it. And it just sort of demonstrates what you need to do against Grandmasters and how I actually ran out of an idea here. So this was actually about 15 minutes on the clock each, I think. Oh no, 10 minutes and 5-second increment. So it's quite a quick game, but I think I struggled where I didn't have enough ideas about what to do in certain situations. And this is a problem that many players like myself face against top players. It's always good to have an idea of what to do. So I was playing white in this game, Bogdan Lalic was playing black, and I played 1e4, he played the French. I played knight to f3, and I was hoping he was going to play d5, and after e5, c5 I would have played b4, or wing gambit. However, after I played knight to f3, he played the move c5, so going into a Sicilian, and I played b4 anyway, why not? And the point is, if he takes this pawn off, I would have played d4, he would have gone d5, e5, knight c6, a3, and after take c3 it would have transposed into a wing gambit. Now I've got a very nice video series that you can check out on my channel which teaches you how to play the wing gambit. I would highly recommend watching it. It's a great opening to learn, especially if you're about 2000 elo. You can put away some quite good players with it. But yeah, I played b4 and he didn't want to capture it, he played b6 instead. So I captured, he recaptured, and again I didn't really know what to do here. I've never really played in this sort of system before. And the computer actually recommended you just play knight c3 here, just develop, and after knight c6 play bishop b5, black can play bishop b7, white can castle, and after queen c7 rook b1, knight f6 rook e1. It says that white has actually got quite a resilient position here, about plus 0.7, so that's not too bad. But again, it's hard for me to actually think of a plan in this sort of position. So after he took on c5, I actually played the move a4. He developed with knight c6 and now played bishop b2. I thought this was a good move because it stops the bishop on f8 from developing as to protect this g7 pawn. And if he played rook b8 here, I would have played queen c1. And I thought after queen b6 I could just move my bishop to c3 if he went in for this. But instead he played quite passively actually and just developed his pieces, played d6. I played bishop b5 attacking the knight. He defended. I then castled. He got his knight out attacking my e4 pawn, and here I thought the right thing to do, which I've seen in many Grand Prix positions, is just play e5. Hitting the knight on f6 and trying to weaken the c5 pawn and isolate it. I think this is the correct move. So he took on e5 with the knight, defends his bishop on d7 if I captured there. So I'm forced to take, and after pawn takes, bishop e7. I've left him with a weak c5 pawn. And I thought I was doing relatively well here, so I played knight c3, he castled, and now I just want to see what maybe you would have played. I think this is the decision that is the difference between an average player like myself and a really strong player. So being an average player, I played queen e2 here, but actually the strongest move, given by the computer anyway, was queen f3. I played the second strongest move in queen e2, but queen f3 seems to be +1 for white here. I couldn't really figure out why, so if anyone wants to tell me, please do let me know in the comments. But one variation went like this, it went a6, and white should play bishop d3, and queen e8, a5, bishop b5 takes, and queen b7. And I guess the point is, in this variation, white has an advanced a pawn, and actually has quite a dangerous position. Obviously I don't think this would have happened in the game if I had played queen f3. But I guess queen f3 just dominates more squares, and I think after queen f3 the idea is to just move the queen to g3 or h3. I played queen e2 though, again the second best move in this position. I don't think it's too bad. Rook e8 was played, and again though actually I was struggling for an idea in this position. Now I am a bit rusty at long play chess, but I remember reading some good books and it did say always think of a plan, and that was my downfall in this game. Perhaps my plan should have been here just to trade off and try and get into the endgame with this weak c5 pawn for black. And I think this could have been achieved if I played maybe knight to e4 here, and if takes, and queen d5, rook e1, takes. I don't think white's got any problems here because we're just going to double rooks in the a file. and it should be absolutely fine. So maybe I should have tried something like this. Instead I just floundered around, played h3. That's a nothing move, doesn't really do anything. I thought, okay, well at least it gives my king some space and I can always retreat this bishop if it gets attacked. But it's really a passive move and doesn't really do anything. So now he gets on with the game. He played knight d5, I played knight to e4, and he played f6, hitting my bishop, which I dropped back to g3. And he played king h8, which I think was a wise move because in some variations I had maybe bishop c4 or queen takes e6 in some sacrificial positions that I looked at. So I played rook e1 here, and I played e5. A logical move, just shuts out this bishop on g3, stops it doing anything. And here I probably maybe should have played f3 at some point. So I took on d7, bishop takes, queen takes, and then queen c4. Again, white's still got a nice position. I'm attacking c5 now with the knight and the queen, so it protects it. And again, I didn't really have a plan here, and that seems to be the problem. I've got a decent position, as many of you would get in a normal game, and it's just a case of thinking of good moves now and thinking of a good plan. I think the best move here would have actually been to play f3, and that makes a lot of logical sense, rerouting the bishop to f2. And if rook d8, play just rook b1, gain the open file, and white's got a nice position. Instead, I think I've been watching too many AlphaZero videos. I played a5 here thinking it was a good move, but it's actually not very good. It just sort of weakens my position even more. Now he plays knight to b4, preparing moves like queen d4. I played d3, he drops his bishop back to f8, and here now I should have just played knight d2. I was really scared of queen d4, but having looked at it with the computer, queen b3 is fine. I would have played this in the game, but I was actually really worried about rook b8, and I didn't see how to continue here. But having looked at this with Stockfish, they recommend going knight c4. And after knight d5, attacking the queen, just retreats it to a3, and white's again absolutely fine in this position. But I was really worried about this queen coming into d4, so I protected my c-pawn with rook to c1. Just far too defensive and showing far too much respect to a Grandmaster. So he attacked my pawn on a5, I protected it with my rook, and now he probably should have played queen d4 because if queen b3 he can play c4. And black's got a wonderful position. Instead he played f5 though, kicking my knight, dropped it back to d2, and now he's gaining more space with e4. And again I played an absolutely nothing move, a6, I don't know what that does at all. Queen d7 was played, I played knight to b3, and actually he just gains a great position after e takes d3. If I take this pawn back, then I think black just gains great play with queen takes, and after rook takes e8, rook takes e8, and queen f7, rook d8 and rook c1. Black's just the whole pawn up. Should be a very easy win for black, I would imagine. So in the game I tried to be a bit tricky, played rook e to d1, pinning the pawn. However, this is a terrible move, as I found out later just checking it. He could have played rook e4 here, hitting the queen. The queen's got no spaces except for c3, and then black can just play c4. Attack this knight, and the pawn's also protecting d3 at the same time, and black's got a wonderful position. So he definitely missed rook e4 here. Instead he played rook c to d8, and I've still got some chances here to draw this game. I took on d3, knight takes d3, knight c1. He played rook e1 check, and I captured. He took with the knight, and I played knight to e2, so attacking this knight on e1 with the rook, and again white's still got some chances here to draw the game. He played queen d3, and this is what I missed. I should have played queen h4 now. So attacking the knight and attacking this rook, so if this queen moves off the d file, I can take the rook. So knight c2 is the only move, and then white can just play knight to f4, queen d2, and then play rook b1. And actually it's given us +1 here for white by Stockfish, amazingly, even though white is a pawn down. It could be because there's some tricks here with knight to g6 and pinning this h-pawn. And also this rook's bearing down in this position, so maybe I should have gone for this, and it would have been quite a sweet game. Instead though, I played very passively. I swapped queens. Bear in mind I was actually quite low on time, so knight takes, knight c1, and I just played c4, and he's just a pawn up. So I played king f1, bishop c5, takes, and here I tried to stop this d pawn. I thought maybe if I could at least chop off here, I could try and win this d pawn. And then he's only got the a-pawn, and it could be a rook endgame where it's a complete draw. But he played this very well, he just took. And there's nothing really I can do. I played rook b1, he checked me, and he wins my g-pawn. So then I played some other moves. Did a lot of good moves here in a row, but it's just not enough. I'm like losing really badly. He's got 2 extra pawns. Play continued on here, where he pushed his pawns down the board. There was one more trick actually that I had up my sleeve. I was trying to go for a stalemate, but again I was low on time and I just wasted too many moves. It was here actually. Rook takes f1. If he takes this and gets a queen, that's stalemate. That's a typical Eric Rosen move. Instead, Bogdan's really good at this type of thing. He played knight take. He played pawn take, sorry, and gets a knight, check, and finishes me off here. Then he just checks me and gets a queen, and that's checkmate. So yeah, I thought it'd be a good idea to show my game against the Grandmaster. And I think a lot of the time when you're playing strong players, it's a mental thing. You just show them far too much respect, and this definitely happened in this game. But always think of a plan and try and work your way through it, and I definitely should have tried this. Saying that though, if you just make a little minor mistake against a strong player, they'll punish you, and definitely this happened in this game. But it was very interesting and I learnt a lot, and hopefully you did too. Anyway, hope to be back soon with the TC-EC games, and again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe everyone.